The DJI Action 4 was released just a month or so ago, and it's got everybody talking about how it's the ultimate GoPro killer. So I thought I'd see for myself just how good this new action camera really is and do a side-by-side comparison with the GoPro Hero 11 on everything from image quality, low light performance, image stabilization, slow motion capture, battery life, durability and usability. And the results are pretty surprising. Play tape. For years, the GoPro Hero lineup has dominated the action camera market, and you know, for good reason, even winning an Emmy Award in 2021 for their hyper-smooth image stabilization. Step in the DJI Action 4 with their own Rocksteady 3.0 image stabilization and a bigger CMOS sensor than the GoPro at 1/1.3 inches. So why is it that the GoPro Hero 11 can shoot 5.3K resolution and the Action 4 opted to remain at 4K because they so could easily have? Well, according to DJI, instead of mindlessly pursuing higher pixel numbers, their new larger sensor aims to deliver optimal image quality for action-based low noise and low light scenarios. Because image resolution isn't everything, especially on an action camera. There are far more things to consider: higher frame rates, color profiles, field of view, image warping, stabilization, battery life, low light performance, audio capture, and finally value for money. So let's put these two gladiators side by side in the ring and see which one comes out on top. So I have both of these action cameras side by side on a dual camera mount, and I'll be filming at the highest resolution possible for the frame rate. So let's start off nice and simple at 30 frames per second, which will be 4K on the Action 4 and 5.3K on the GoPro. So I'm filming in the standard wide aspect ratio on both cameras. I'm also filming in the new D-Log-M color profile on the Action 4 versus the equivalent flat color profile on the GoPro. And this is a place called Alum Bay on the Isle of Wight. It's an incredible coastline with all these beautiful colors in the cliff face. Also out to sea is a place called the Needles, and I'm probably going to take a speedboat rib out there to explore later on and test out the 120 frames per second on both of these cameras. Very excited about that. I'm just going to go for an explore. The Action 4 handles image distortion much better than the GoPro when shooting in the ultra-wide view, as you can see from the man in the bottom right corner. Image resolution is very close between the two. 5.3K versus the 4K on the Action 4 is only noticeable at the pixel level. In reality, the difference would be negligible on 4K monitors and TVs. What you got there? Oh, you got the Action 3, huh?
Action 3, yeah.
In slow-mo 120 frames per second, both cameras have to settle on 4K, and this is where the Action 4 takes the lead with less crunchier sharpness and a more cinematic quality. So as you can see, the footage coming out of the Action 4 is really impressive at 4K, even pitted against the 5.3 on the GoPro. And it's especially good in slow motion 120 frames per second, which is kind of where action cameras should be used to their full potential. And the benefits of the DJI do not stop there. Take a look at the low light performance of this camera compared to the GoPro. I took this footage at sundown, filming with exactly the same settings and an ISO of 400. The noise in the GoPro is almost unusable compared to the clean, sharp footage coming from the Action 4. And when increasing the ISO even further to 800, the difference is plainly obvious. Both of these clips were taken at night with an ISO of 3200 and a shutter of 120th of a second. The GoPro has far more noise and grungy texture than the Action 4. And take notice of the detail in the windows of the building on the left. The DJI's low light performance is next level. The Action 4 is a clear winner. Also, take notice of the white balance coming from the Action 4. It's so much more natural during this sunset than the overwhelming yellows coming from the GoPro. And that's because the Action 4 has a dedicated white balance sensor in the logo on the front of the camera. So let's see how the DJI performs against the Emmy award-winning stabilization system on the GoPro. You wanna go? Put 'em up. So let's talk stabilization. We have fairly similar options on both cameras. Firstly, no stabilization, which you're probably only ever going to use on a tripod or very still handheld. Or if you were to use this on a bike, this is what it would look like. Then we have Rocksteady 3.0 on the Action 4 versus the Hypersmooth on the GoPro. Both of these will be steady enough for walking shots or gentle action shots, maybe with a chest harness or a helmet mount. Rocksteady Plus is where the Action 4 really holds its own against the GoPro's boost feature. And I have to say, where the heck is DJI's Emmy Award? Because this is one seriously good piece of stabilizing algorithm. Perfect for heavy duty action filming like mountain biking, skateboarding, and speedboating. So I'm riding on Rocksteady Plus now on the Action 4 versus, whoa, that was a rat. Horizon balancing is similar to horizon lock on the GoPro, where you can tilt the cameras up to 45 degrees and still keep a level horizon. Boasting a 155-degree field of view, the Action 4 can capture more of the scene and incredibly does a much better job of controlling that fisheye effect that most other action cameras ultimately suffer from. So this is the GoPro's widest field of view called Hyperview, versus the DJI Action 4's ultra-wide feature. Both are set to exactly the same exposure settings with no stabilization on either camera. Notice that warping fisheye effect on the GoPro compared to the wider, straighter lines on the Action 4. Simply no contest in this department. Then we have Hypersmooth boost feature on the GoPro for more stable action-based footage, while Rocksteady Plus does punch in on the scene, but again with much straighter lines and less distortion towards the edges. The linear feature will smooth out those warped edges on the GoPro, while the DJI retains far more field of view with their own standard D-warp. So you can see both cameras have a wide selection of fields of view, it's just the Action 4 is far more consistent with lens distortion and wider video recording. Now, battery life has always been a bit of an issue on the GoPro, constantly running low on juice very quickly. And yes, they have their new Enduro battery, which GoPro claims gives you 38% more juice than the previous batteries, but still, it cannot compete with the DJI, roughly the same size, but 160 minutes. That's double the GoPro.
What are you doing, Bab?
Oh, you know, just the classic case of the old GoPro battery running out, so I'm having to sit around and wait for it to recharge. Still got about an hour left on the Action 4. And the new rapid charging on the DJI is ridiculous. 80% charge within 20 minutes. So let's do a quick test with 2 depleted batteries to see where we are after 20 minutes of charging. 2 completely dead batteries, switch them off. Let's unplug them. And 25% on the GoPro, 81% on the Action 4. Usability and functionality is where the Action 4 really takes the cake over the GoPro, starting off with this magnetic click mount. It just makes sense. The GoPro has essentially not changed the design of their screw mount since they started making action cameras. It's been a constant bugbear of mine, and no doubt anyone else who's owned the GoPro over the years. Pop the kettle on, unscrew the mount, detach, take your helmet off, locate the holes on your helmet, fiddle about, tighten, put your helmet back on, do up your strap, pour the hot water. Oh, and by the way, you've just missed the shot. The Action 4, detach, reattach, done. I mean, come on. And this thing is not coming off. It's locked into place with metal clips. And because it's magnetic, it locates easily without you having to look. So no need to take off your helmet. And as we're all living in this social media bubble, content creators are always filming in that upright portrait mode, which is why DJI have dedicated their design to accommodating native vertical filming with a lossless resolution. So what else? Touchscreens. On the GoPro, you have a touchscreen on the back, just a regular screen on the front. On the Action 4, you've got a touchscreen on the back and the front, which is really handy for vlogging style shots when you want to change your exposure settings on the fly. The main touchscreens on both of these cameras are pretty decent, although I do slightly prefer the Action 4. The touch display is far more user-friendly with bigger menu items. The home screen on the GoPro does have more direct settings like stabilization and field of view, but accessing the Pro Tune exposure features takes far too long and are buried deep in the sub-menus and are on the small side. The Action 4 has really nice haptic feedback and clear colors. Also, we have more options for shutter speeds with the Action 4. The GoPro touchscreen at times can be unresponsive and a bit temperamental. Oh, and you've got to love these new ND filter pack which DJI supply on the website. They literally just slide over the top of the existing piece of glass. No messing around with unscrewing or swapping glass. Love that. Another thing that the Action 4 outperforms the GoPro in is the waterproof dive limit, which is 18 meters compared to a pretty average 10 meters. And if you want to dive deeper than that, you have to purchase a protective waterproof housing, dive case, and that's an extra £55 more expense. So no action camera comparison video would be complete without some kind of audio test. So we've got wind reduction turned off on both cameras. There's hardly any wind today, so we should be able to get away with it. But we will go for a ride in a second, get some speed up on the bike, and we'll see how it fares with wind reduction turned on. So testing, 1, 2. This is the audio coming from the GoPro, and this is the audio coming from the Action 4. We've got wind reduction turned on both cameras. So let's get up to about 10 miles an hour and see what it sounds like. There are no microphones that I know of that are very good in wind unless you've got some kind of windsock or wind muff like the one I've got on my lapel. But let's just see how they perform against each other in the wind. So one of the things I dislike about the GoPro is that in order to get clean audio in windy conditions, they make you purchase a proprietary media pod which is worth about £80, or a Pro Mic adapter for £40, and then you're allowed to plug in an external microphone and get clean audio. The DJI Action 4 allows the use of third-party plug-in USB-C microphones, so if you already own one of these, then there's no extra cost involved. Even better still is the compatibility of their own DJI mic, where the receiver plugs directly into the side, and then you can send wirelessly the audio from your lapel. I love this thing. I've been using it all year. It's just another thing that DJI have made easier and cheaper to do. With attention to detail and the thought that goes into manufacturing what an action camera should be, DJI have really raised the bar in this market. It's not perfect, but neither is the GoPro, and these guys have had plenty more time in the game to perfect issues like battery life, fiddly, time-consuming thumb screw mounts, waterproof depth, the user interface, and that temperamental touchscreen. The Action 4 does suffer from an overheating problem, and I'm hoping they'll address that in the future. So I've just been filming for about 10-15 minutes or so. It is very hot today, it's about 28 degrees, and the Action 4 has just overheated.
GoPro's still going strong though.
But it does make up for it in extreme cold temperatures. The DJI Mimo app also allows you to upload your clips and magically remove the selfie stick from your footage. DJI are constantly innovating, and the future looks very interesting in the battle of the action camera wars. Low light performance is just one of the ways in which the Action 4 has changed the game, because let's face it, we're not always going to be filming on bright sunny days. Anyway, I have a headshot photography course available on my website, so if you're interested in improving your portrait skills, then this is the course for you. There's 5 hours worth of training and over 50 videos on the course. I also have a Lightroom preset pack available on my website. I'll pop links to all of those in the description below. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, and don't forget to subscribe with that little red button below, and I'll catch you on the flip side.